Your OAS or CPP deposit just landed in your bank account. You checked the amount, maybe nodded, and moved on. But tucked inside that payment is one number that quietly determines whether you are going to keep receiving your full benefit next year, or whether a portion of it is going to be quietly pulled back without a single phone call, without a letter you would recognize, and without any warning that makes sense until it is already too late. Most seniors never look at this number. Some do not even know it exists, and the ones who do find it often do not know what it means until the damage is done. If you are collecting OAS right now, or if you have been receiving CPP for any amount of time, what I am about to walk you through matters to your household income in a way that is far more direct than most people realize. And at the very end of this video, I am going to show you exactly what to do once you find this number so that it works for you instead of against you. I am going to hold that for the end because it only makes sense once you understand what comes before it. I have spent a long time going through CRA bulletins, Service Canada quarterly releases, and Finance Canada documentation so that you do not have to. Everything I am going to share with you today comes directly from those public sources. There is nothing to buy here, no phone number at the end, and no program to sign up for. If what you hear today helps you, the best thing you can do is subscribe so you see the next video when it comes out, and drop a comment below telling me the province you live in. That helps me make sure the examples I use are as close to your situation as possible. Now let us get into it. The number I want you to find is your year-to-date income figure, not the deposit amount, not your monthly benefit rate. The running total of every dollar that has come into your name since January 1st of this year. Most seniors check the deposit. Almost none check the total. And that distinction is exactly where things go quietly wrong. Here is what most people do not know about this. The government does not look at what you received this month when it decides whether to reduce your OAS next year. It looks at your total net income for the full calendar year. Net income means all the money that comes into your picture before certain deductions, including your OAS, your CPP, any RRIF withdrawals you took, any rental income, any part-time work, any pension income from a former employer. All of it adds together. And once that total crosses a specific threshold, which as of the most recent figures sits at approximately $92,000 for the 2024 tax year, Service Canada begins recovering a portion of your OAS through something called the OAS clawback, or in official language, the Old Age Security Repayment. The clawback means that for every dollar your net income goes above that threshold, 15 cents of your OAS is pulled back. It does not feel like a deduction when it happens. It shows up as a recovery amount on your tax return the following spring, and for many people, it is a complete shock. This is a composite illustration, not a real person, but everything that happens here happens to thousands of seniors in exactly this way. Take a man named Gerald from Kelowna. Gerald is 71. He collects OAS, he collects CPP, and last year he decided to take a larger RRIF withdrawal in the fall to cover some home repairs. A RRIF is a registered retirement income fund, essentially a retirement savings account that the government requires you to start drawing from at a certain age. Gerald knew he had to take the minimum withdrawal. He did not realize that taking extra on top of that would push his total net income just over the threshold by about $11,000. The following spring, his tax return showed an OAS recovery amount of roughly $1,650 owing. He had not budgeted for it. He had to pull from savings he had set aside for something else. That could be you. The second angle that most seniors miss is what happens when two income streams arrive in the same calendar year because of timing. This is especially true for people who started OAS mid-year or who received a retroactive CPP payment. When you apply for OAS late and receive months of back payment all at once, that entire lump sum counts as income in the year you receive it. Not spread across the months it covers, the year it lands. Think about a woman named Paulette from Moncton. She delayed applying for OAS by 8 months because she was still working part-time and thought it made sense to wait. When she finally applied, she received a retroactive payment covering those 8 months all at once in the same tax year. Between that lump sum, her CPP, her part-time wages, and a small work pension, her net income that year was approximately $21,000 higher than any year before. She was not a high-income earner by any standard, but in that one calendar year, on paper, her income looked like it was. Her GIS eligibility was affected the following year because GIS, the Guaranteed Income Supplement, is recalculated every July based on your prior year tax return. A higher income year, even one caused by a timing issue, can interrupt your GIS temporarily. For lower income seniors, that interruption can mean losing several $100s a month in benefits they depend on. That could be you. The third angle is the one that catches people who are careful and still get surprised. It is investment income that arrives quietly. Interest from a GIC that matured. A dividend from a non-registered account. A capital gain from a mutual fund held outside a TFSA. These amounts do not arrive as obvious deposits the way your OAS does. They often show up on a tax slip in February, and by then the calendar year is closed. You cannot undo the income. You can only deal with the consequences. A man named Dennis from Windsor held a few GICs that matured the same year he turned 65 and became eligible for OAS. He had planned around his monthly deposit amounts. He had not thought about the interest income from those GICs being added to his total. The combined figure pushed his net income into a range that reduced his GIS eligibility for the following benefit year. He lost approximately $340 a month in GIS for 12 months before the following tax year reset the calculation. That is just over $4,000 in benefits he did not receive because of a number he was not watching. That could be you. Now here is the move, and this is what I promised you at the beginning. The number you need to find is not on your bank statement. It is on your most recent CRA My Account summary, specifically the field that shows your prior year net income as assessed, and then a running estimate of what your current year is likely to show based on what has already been reported. You can access this through CRA My Account online. If you are not registered, you can also call Service Canada and ask them what income figure they are currently using to calculate your benefit entitlement for this benefit year. Once you have that number, you compare it to two thresholds. The first is the OAS recovery threshold, which as of the most recent figures is approximately $92,000 net income for the 2024 tax year. The second is the GIS income cutoff, which varies depending on your marital status. But for a single senior, it sits at roughly $22,000 of income, excluding OAS, as of the most recent quarterly update. If Gerald had checked his running income total in October before taking that extra RRIF withdrawal, he could have taken a smaller amount, stayed under the threshold, and kept that $1,650 in his pocket. If Paulette had known about the retroactive payment timing rule before she applied, she could have spoken with a Service Canada agent about whether there was a way to structure the payment or, at minimum, prepared for the GIS impact in advance. If Dennis had added up his GIC maturity dates in January and estimated the interest income that would arrive that year, he would have had a different picture of where his net income was heading. The one number inside your deposit is not the deposit itself. It is the cumulative total your deposit is contributing to, and the only way to protect your benefits is to know where that total is heading before the year closes. Here are your 3 steps for this week. First, log into CRA My Account, or ask a family member to help you do it, and look for the line that shows your most recently assessed net income. This is the figure from your last completed tax return, specifically line 23,600 on your return. Write it down. Second, make a list of every income source that has come in since January 1st of this year. This includes all your benefit deposits, any RRIF withdrawals you have already taken, any interest income you know is coming, any work income, any rental income, add it up roughly, compare it to where you were at the same point last year. Third, if you have a RRIF and you were thinking about taking an extra withdrawal before December, do not put off that decision any longer. The window to adjust is closing. Running a rough total now gives you the information you need to make that call on your own terms, rather than the government making it for you after the year ends. Share this video with one person you know who is collecting OAS or CPP. They may be watching the deposit and missing the number underneath it. Everything in this video is general information to help you ask better questions and look in the right places. It is not personal financial advice. Your situation is your own and includes details only you and your documents can confirm. Before making any decision about RRIF withdrawals, income timing, or benefit applications, look at your own CRA documents or speak with someone who can see your full picture. There is a video coming up next that goes into exactly how the GIS calculation resets every July and what you can do in the months before that reset to protect your eligibility. It is linked in the description. If you are not subscribed yet, do that now so you do not miss it.